Well, hey, welcome to the Daily Brew. Today we're talking about a name. What's in a name? Do you judge people based on being introduced to them and knowing what their name is?
I mean, I think you judge in the sense of like, is it a memorable name or is it unique? Like my husband's name is Branch. So the first impression he gives is when they're like, huh? He's like a tree branch.
Right.
Yeah. So people, like
think
you
he
judge
might be
that.
outdoorsy or
Yeah,
something
you just,
like that.
I don't know if you judge the person as much as their parents.
Wait,
like,
what are your guys' names again?
yeah, exactly. Like Tiffany, Joe,
Mine's
Danny.
so simple, you can't forget it, Danny.
Yeah,
two letters.
But for us, like what Tiffany's saying, like ours are pretty like basic, right? Like I feel like we hear a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new survey out that 2,000 Americans, they found that at first meet, 18% of people judge based solely on their name. Now, the most judged name, Karen, right? And Chad, which is seen as a symbol of an exaggerated male bravado. So, and Gen Z is the most likely generation to jump to conclusions and judge.
So my aunt's name is Karen. We love Aunt Karen. And then also my mentor's name is Karen. And she'll always go, now, when she introduces herself to people, she'll be like, now, I'm not a Karen, but my name
is Karen. Yeah.
I will say, to be fair, I know there are some, it got viral, what was it, many years ago about like how they were complaining about stuff they shouldn't. I'm going to say it. We need Karens in this world. I'm just going to say.
There you go, Danny.
What?
We do.
No, listen. Like, okay, like let's say, for example, you were in a restaurant, this kind of goes back a couple weeks ago. Like you're in a restaurant and kids are being annoying and a Karen says, hey, you tell your kids to behave. Mm-hmm. Someone's got to do it.
Danny's like, Karen's
true. No, that's true.
There are some where, yes, it's egregious. Like, okay, yeah. Like, if there'll be people like if the kids are playing out in the street or whatever, like, these kids, like, are ruining my time. No, obviously not. But I'm saying, like, out in public, if people are being disruptive or, things don't get right and, they want it to be fixed,
Or parents could just parent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that solution.
I think where people get the bad rap, right, is where you have people who go way overboard and they yell or they do something like that and then they just happen to have that name. But with social media now, then you post and you're like, oh, well, this person, blah, 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 so don't be a whatever.
I just don't like it when people get rude with service people,
Yeah, that's fair.
that are just doing their job and helping. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in the survey, the names consistently that people would like to, have their names. It would be Jessica, Amira, Caroline, Lisa, and Natalie.
So people like these names.
They like these names.
No guy names in there?
Well, I didn't have time to look.
I just didn't know if it was.
Danny was on there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I do have some information. The second after Chad was Donald, John, and Damien. Those are the most judged names.
Interesting.
We've got one of our producers, John. He's a lovable fella. I have to disagree with that. And my brother's real name is John, so I'm going to disagree with that.
This is interesting.
Okay.
And John the Baptist, come on, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's a lot of Johns in the Bible.
Come on now.
All right, let's talk about this guy here. A complete T-Rex fossil found South Dakota on a farm. Gus, he was unearthed back in 2021. He's going up for auction, expected to bring in $30 million.
Now, this one makes more sense to me than some of these other things
like
that
what you'd
go
buy?
for $1 million. No, because I think it's cool, but I'm not a science girl. But a full fossil like this, a full T-Rex, of course.
I was saying there's something missing, at least as far as I can tell. Also, Gus, for whatever reason, just sounds like a perfect name for this guy.
It kind of does, doesn't it? And I imagine, for that price, it's going to go to a private buyer, but probably like a museum or someone.
I'd hope so. If not, you're just going to store it in your airplane hangar, hey, we got a T-Rex I bought.
Or if you have a house big enough, it's just on display in the foyer.
Yeah, that'd be great,
if you can afford that, you have a foyer.
I was going to say, yeah, if you can afford that, you can afford just about anything.
All right, take a look at this. For more than 6 decades, the Lumberjack World Championship, do we have the video? There it is. They have turned traditional logging skills into a test of speed, strength, and precision. More than 100 competitors, they'll turn up from around the world and gather there in Wisconsin to compete.
That lines up. A lot of lumberjack style, a lot of Nordic people in the upper Midwest, and there's some big fellas in Minnesota. I was whenever we went to the state fair, I would be feeling small because of how big and tall a lot of these people were. Even women too are very tall up in the upper Midwest. So it does not surprise me it's in Wisconsin.
I want to see this in person. I've never seen one. I want to see it.
Those are Erling Haaland's descendants.
I was going to say the Holland descendants. I haven't seen that specifically, but at the state fair sometimes they'll do those logging competitions, and I'm like, I don't even know if I could do one. And they could basically, some of them, they can snap it with their arms if it's broken enough.
Wrong. All right, stay with us. More 5 News This Morning is coming up.